Well, the brother's back, giving you a little insight on what Harlem was like in those days. Now, I haven't really gotten into the violent people. Most of the people I told you were kind of non-violent people. Yes, they did things wrong, but they were non-violent people. I'm eventually going to tell you about some real violent things that happened in Harlem during those days. The night scene was fabulous in Harlem. Players, the music, you could always hear some music, there was always something going on. Now, like I said, 125th Street was a busy street. It wasn't that wide. You had a lane of cars that were curb-sized on both sides of the street, and you had two lanes going each way where the traffic flowed. All day long, the traffic flowed. Buses going across there, cars went. Well, there was always people double parked. Well, they would double park, run into wherever they want, and that means that the people behind, you just have to go around them. If the bus is there, you'd have to go around them. You had a lane to go around them, but it was always somebody double parked. Oh, you can rest assured. They didn't care. They just double park, go in, take care of business, do whatever they had to do, then come out, get in their car, and then you had some that just, you know, they'd go in there and get their hair cut. So their car would sit out there for some length of time. Well, they had police officers, you know, manning the beat, writing tickets, double park tickets, this, that, and the other, all up and down 125th Street. There was a police officer. One in particular, police officer, had him a hustle. Now listen to this hustle. You want to hear about a hustle? The double park ticket in those days, now this is in the 60s, it was a $15 ticket if you got written up for double parking. Well, there was a police officer named Norman. That was his beat. You know, most of the cops had a beat between this block and that block. And because it was so busy, you had one. Now Norman's beat was, believe it or not, between 8th Avenue and Lenox Avenue. There's only 2 blocks. Now he was there to control the city, 125th Street, keep the peace. He's a peace officer, like anything else. Write up tickets for people that have made some kind of moving violation, or double parking was a big thing. Now, you had an organization called Meter Maids. They just took care of the meters of people illegally parked when your meter expired. That's what they did. They were called Meter Maids back then. And they would also walk across one end of 125th Street to the other, writing people where the meter had expired because they didn't put, it was a dime in your meter back then, 10 cents for an hour. So that's what their job was. The police officer's job was there to write tickets for double parked cars. Now, I didn't understand until somebody in the tailor shop explained to me how Brother Norman, police officer, had his hustle. Well, his hustle was real good. He'd be writing people tickets, and every so often, if he saw somebody get out their car, double park, and run into a store, either our store or one of the other merchants, he had a very unique system. He'd stand out there with his foot on their bumper until they came out. And he would tell them straight out, you know you're illegally parked here, I'm going to have to write you a ticket. They know the ticket is $15, but that also goes as points on your license, because it's still considered, even though it's not moving, it's still a vehicle violation. You get a ticket, it's $15. Now, mind you, Norman wasn't greedy. He would just simply, he would be acting like he's writing a ticket for the individual. All he simply did was told him, look, we'll give you a warning this time. He said, but here's what I want you to do. You know, the ticket's $15. He said, go in that store right there. And a lot of times it was our store, because somebody always double parked at our store. He waited up on those people there. He said, He said, put $3 down on the counter. They would go in the store, come out, tell him, did what you told me to do. He said, okay. He said, now don't let me catch you double park here again. And he would look him in the eye. They were glad, first of all, not to get the $15 ticket, not to get the points on his license for double parking, and it only cost him $3. 1, 2, 3. I watched him do this for the time I started working on 125th Street till the time I left 125th Street, take $3, 1, 2, 3, from at least 25 cars in the course of a day. That's $75 a week. You know, I mean, that's $75 a day if you count it money-wise. That's what it was. It's what it was. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what it was. Because everybody had a hustle. And I watched him for 8 years do this all day long. And like I said, he wasn't greedy. Just told them $3. And they would do it, rather than get the ticket and get the points. And he'd come in the tailor shop, have a drink. Oh yeah, he'd have a drink with the rest of them. Everybody knew him, everybody on the street knew Norman. Because like I say, everybody who went up and down 125th Street knew everybody else in those days. Thousands upon thousands of people crossed 125th Street every day. But there was a group of people that everybody knew everybody. And all day long, this flow of people flowed up and down 125th Street. The meter maids, mind you, I eventually found out they had a little hustle. Similar, but not the same. They weren't like Norman, where they could do this and get away with it like Norman could. Okay? But a lot of times, see, they didn't have cell phone cameras back then. They didn't have closed circuit TVs all around, you know, watching everything. They did the same thing at times. Your meter expired because, once again, that meter ticket was $15 also. You know, it's funny that back in the 60s, it could cost you money if you did something illegal, either parking or double parking or meter violation. How do I know this? One time I went down to traffic court. Guy said, come on, let's go down to traffic court and hang out. I decided to take a little day off. We weren't that busy. I went down to traffic court. And I would see these people come in front of the judge. Now, not just Harlem, this is just traffic court. And I would see, we'd sit there for just a couple of hours, and we'd listen to the excuses that people gave the judge on why, listen to me, on why they didn't pay these tickets. Some of them had hundreds of parking violation tickets. I mean, hundreds of them. I said, well, Mr. Jones, you got 72 traffic violations. Most of the time, they weren't necessarily from a moving violation. It is a moving violation. Most of the time, the traffic courts were full of parking infractions, either double park or meter violation. This is why I'm saying, when these people took a couple of dollars from you to not write the tickets, it was a blessing to them. I mean, it was really a blessing to them, because those tickets add up. And after so many, they come looking for you. They come looking for you. They got a book they call a scofflaw book that they had back then, where they put your license plate number in a book. And I watched this with my eyes. I was amazed how they did this. Person would come by with the book, check your license tag out, and if it was in this little book called a scofflaw book, they snatch your car. Now it would cost you $250 to get your car back. In the 60s, $250. You had to pay the tow and the violation and the storage. Because the minute they put you in, they charge you a day's storage too. So they had a tow truck. It would physically pull your car out into the street. Another tow truck would come on, jack it up, jack away. I watch these things happen. I'm amazed because I never really looked that hard at what went on until I started working in Harlem. And I've watched double park. I double park. Yes, I have. Me and everybody else. But I never got caught doing something because mine was, and it was never on 125th Street. I never double parked on 125th Street because I knew what could happen there. But we've all double parked somewhere sometime in our lives. So ask yourself, when was the last time you double parked? And you didn't get a ticket. But then ask yourself, had he been writing one and he'd have told me, go over there and put $2, $3 down so you don't get a ticket? Ask yourself this, would you not have put $2 or $3 down on that? Or would you rather the ticket? See? So, once again, the brother from Harlem giving you things that I physically saw with my eyes. And it was just amazing of the different things that went on. Just like that. So, I'll be back.